All right, Saggies, you are up. Let's check out mid-September for you. This is your reading. I will be doing, going through your chart, your astrology chart in the extended. We'll be talking more about what is hitting which house. I'll glance on that in this reading. I want to see what's coming through for the tarot. But I just want you to know that this is a very pivotal month for Sagittarius, I'm feeling. Definitely have been meditating a lot on movement and the fact that there's so many things in retrograde. This can just be about a considering movement. So if you're considering making changes, just consider a little bit more. All right. So we're going to talk more about that. A lot of the things that are transiting in the sky are hitting your 9th, 10th, and 11th house, which is about how you feel about things, what your beliefs are, and playing the long game. Playing the long game. So this week we have the new moon in Virgo. So that's about details. And you can, you are one of the signs that can really look long term and see the details at the same time, right? Like you're not too blinded by big vision, although you're really good at that. And the later degrees of Sagittarius, I feel like you have from like 15 on, I feel like you have a really good facility for optimism around, hey, I know that it's got to be grounded in detail. Okay. You're like, got it, whatever. Maybe I need some help to help me do that, but I still get it that it's important. So underneath is fire, which is you, my darling. There's you again. Truth. I mean, that's super on brand for you. Shift. So there's not a tremendous amount of movement that you can really do right now. It's really about the plan. Okay. It's really about the plan. So, you have Venus is in Leo. That's hitting, for many of you, that's hitting your 9th house, which is about like, what are my values? What do I believe? And Venus, now that it's going direct, is about using your passion to move things forward based on your values, right? Based on those things. So it's kind of an interesting placement. And you do have a lot of planets hitting those 4th, 5th, and 6th houses, which is about your family, right? Which is about your, what do I need to do for my family, or what do I need to do for my baby, Mr. Charlie? What do I need to do? So just sit tight. All right. Let's take a look at what the tarot has to say. I'll give you a little bit more information on what planets are hitting where, so you can know what part of your life is being impacted. But let's take a look at the tarot first here and get some messages coming through for the collective. There you are. This one has come up so often when I have been doing my own readings, and I'm a Sagittarius. So I know that's Leo, but definitely fire energy is really loud here. 6 of Wands, more Wands, 8 of Wands, right? The Queen of Swords is seeing the future. I feel like some of you are letting go of people who are not really future oriented. Maybe a new tribe of friends coming through. This is crossroads energy, definitely. So new tribes of friends, new places, travel, like all part of when Jupiter goes direct later this year. That's going to be an important thing. Jupiter is about travel. I'm going to give you that date just so I can make sure. I believe it's December, but let me look here. Jupiter going direct 30 December. So you have the rest of this year is before you really strike out in your new direction and put your plans into not just into focus. You're doing the focus now. When you put them into play, that's going to make for some powerful action. So Sagittarius is the archer, right? So the next few months is like when you draw back the bow, right? When you draw it back and you let go of the arrow at the end of this year and into next year, it's going to be very powerful. So that's kind of like this. I see the future. I know what I'm doing. Look at all the arrows you've got. So any kind of ideas that you have for your work or your business, I feel like you're doing well now, but I getting a lot of things, getting a lot of downloads about where you want to go is all part of this. And like putting your energy into stuff that matters and getting rid of trivialities, getting rid of relationships that are draining you, getting rid of people who have ulterior motives when they deal with you. So this strikes me as a shift from this, right, the shift, the beautiful childlike energy of trust around Sagittarius, I feel like has been really tested um, to your detriment in the last, I'm going to say, since 2008. You may have had a lot of people show up in your life who were really for themselves and takers and vampires, even people that you've known for longer periods of time who may not have been takers or vampires turned into takers and vampires. And that was kind of a rough, rude awakening. But I feel like now you're getting to the place of like, okay, I know what matters now. I'm not going to waste time on things. And so Sagittarius is kind of making this shift, right? This taking this other road of I'm no longer a mark. I'm no longer so optimistic or so kind of trusting. And it shows like your energy, it's really coming through. I'm going to turn this off. Sorry. It's really coming through your energy that you're no longer just going to, kind of go along to get along or people please. Like it's just not a thing anymore. So that's happening in the middle of September and into Libra season. I feel like, let's see, lots of Gemini here, Gemini and Libra, Leo, Virgo energy. So look at that Virgo energy, Queen of Cups, Hermit, Queen of Cups, Strength. This week we have the Virgo new moon, and that is about manifesting things for our best and highest good, manifesting things based on healed energy versus a broken energy. And you have overcome a lot. It doesn't mean that you don't feel. This Five of Cups is here. It doesn't mean that you don't feel. It's almost like you're coming to some kind of realization that certain people or certain situations, certain projects, certain clients, certain pathways are not, boy, this sounds bad, not worth your time. Yeesh. I hate to say that when it's around people because, I'm Sag and I'm like, here's Gemini, Ace of Pentacles, very nice. The Seven of Swords, Page of Wands, Ten of Swords, oy, and the Four of Cups. I almost feel like some of you, when I'm talking about people and situations, like there's some people that are super obvious to you that need to be removed from your life, but there may be another one or two that are more difficult, and you might have some difficulty with that. You might be thinking that, wow, I didn't think it was going to be this close. Like if we're talking about concentric circles of people, you have like, your acquaintances, work people, colleagues, things like that. Then you have friends who are like once in a while friends. You see them every couple of months or you go out with them every once in a while and, you share more with them. But then there's this inner circle of people. And I feel like we have purged anybody who's not on your path, right? We've purged a lot of people in the outer circles in the last couple of years with those the Saturn squares that we had in 2021. We've purged a lot of people, Saturn Uranus squares. That has made for some challenges that your circles are getting smaller and smaller, and now we're into the inner circle. And this has to do with people who you have loved, liked, trusted for a long time, suddenly showing themselves to be not worthy of that. And that Seven of Swords, right? And so you're taking a brand new road. Like this is requiring you to integrate the vision and mission that you've had over time, integrate that vision and mission, okay? And really being able to open your heart, now trusting yourself to choose people who are worthy. There are still one or two who are not. That is going to surprise you, okay? And when you're shifting into this energy of focusing on the things that matter, do the things that matter, be with the people who are elevating you and you're elevating them, but it's balanced, right? Be inspired by these people, being inspired by their actions, knowing that they're in a dynamic shift in their life too. There's something really magical about this. Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords, Four of Cups. Let's see what that's about. And I just feel like you're going to have some surprises here, okay? Five of Swords. So I'm clarifying the Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, Temperance, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Libra card. So there's Sagittarius and Libra. And I feel like some of these people could be family, or you consider them family, which is why it's like, ooh, really, really consider them family. And so this is a very sad thing. It's kind of like you may have suspected you've been manipulated by this person. You have suspected this in the past. And it's been like maybe it's a little bit rocky, but this person is somebody that you have trusted. And I feel like you really think, well, this person's family. All right. So that might be a little bit, wow, like, oh my goodness. You're seeing them from a new perspective, right? The Hanged Man, death. Okay. Scorpio too. Ten of Swords. So Fool, here we go. The Emperor energy, the Moon, and the Devil card. Wow. All major arcana cards when I'm looking at this Ten of Swords, Four of Cups. I think it's something you're afraid to look at. I think it's because for the past couple of years, I feel like you have done a really good job in doing some healing work around your own trust issues, and to the place where you might be now feeling like you're very untrusting of people, which is so weird for for Sagittarius. But this new path is more like Leo and Aries. Okay, this new path is more the fire of Aries, about being a leader and like, hey, if I have to go it alone, I go it alone. And Leo being like, listen, I'm doing this because this is my creativity and this is what is important for me. So this new moon in Virgo that's coming up, this hermit energy, I do feel like some of you are stepping into being the wise sage, the wise leader. And part of that is walking your talk. So if you have talked to friends or to other people about relationships that haven't worked for them, like you're the sounding board and you're the one, it's now time for you to turn that and say, okay, what's not working for me? And it can be a variety of things. It can be a toxic work environment that has always worked for you, but kind of turns and you're like, ooh, it's really not working for me. For example, like somebody could leave their job and then your boss is like, okay, well, great. You can take their job too. You got to keep your job, but you got to do their job too. And you're like, ooh, that's not working for me anymore. So I definitely feel like you're unplugging from some toxicity in this new moon in Virgo and going in a new direction that is very leadership kind of driven by you. It's something that, how it's hard to be a leader sometimes. You have to make tough decisions. You have to take challenges that may be scaring you. But the alternative is to be stuck. And I think that that's not on your path. We're not doing stuck anymore, especially if it's about, I can't say this to that person because I feel like they're family, and how can I get rid of that relationship, or how can I end that relationship without it being completely devastating to me? Okay. And so some of you have stayed in relationships and connections and jobs and things that have been draining to you for a long time. It's no longer a possibility. It's just no longer a possibility. I think it's going to turn. The Leo card here, King of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Hierophant. It's like, what do you want to put your time and energy to? What do you want to do about things? And the King of Swords is saying, I am going to be merciless in choosing things that align with me. And I might be getting rid of situations that are long time situations, are traditional for me, are, it's sort of like these people are parts of the furniture. So that's kind of coming. I'm also noticing that to do this means that you will then be able to proceed with an open heart, because I don't know if you've noticed this, but keeping some of these people or these situations in your life has closed your heart and has stopped you from being really the soothsayer, has stopped you from really being the truth teller. And for whatever reason, it was like, okay, well, I had to be the peacemaker here. I had to be the one who was going to make everybody happy or be with everybody and make everybody feel like, all a happy family kind of thing. And now you're like, that will be to my detriment. And that's not, nope, no bueno. It's just not possible moving forward because you're on a new path here. You're on a new leadership path. And to really drag this kind of pattern along with you is going to send you back. It's like at the end of the music, like that thing with the two dots. I don't know what it's called because I'm not a musician, but it's not a coda. I can't remember, but it tells you to go back and repeat this line of music. And it's like, do you want to just blow through it or do you have to go back and redo it again? And boy, I think if I said that to any number of Sagittarians I know, they'd be like, hell to the no, I'm not going back and doing this again. I'm not going to continue to stay in this situation. I'm not going to stay in this situation. So Venus and Leo in the 9th house, you're really taking, now that it's direct, you're really taking stock of what you believe in, right? What you believe in. And with Virgo in that 10th house, with the sun and the moon and Mercury, that is definitely saying like things are in alignment for me. The sun and the moon and Mercury, it's like lining up so that you can see the details and you can also see the big picture, right? Because you're a Sagittarian. So Virgo is a really nice energy for you right now. That does feel really good to me. It also feels like the Piscean energy across the hall in the 4th house, with Neptune and Neptune is in retrograde. I can't remember the other planet, but I will look at your chart in the extended, but I'm just going to look at it right now. So Neptune, what is it? Oh, Saturn. How could I forget Saturn? All right. Neptune and Saturn in that 4th house. These are big decisions about where do I belong and what's important to me and making that the priority. Like, it's been a long time since you have said, what's important to me matters more than some of this other stuff, more than playing patty cake or nice with someone who's manipulating me just to keep the peace. Okay, so you've learned that lesson. Maybe that's a lesson from your mother because that's in the 4th house. Saturn is about lessons. And so if you learned that keep the peace kind of lesson from your mother, that's what needs to be uprooted. Saturn is in retrograde, so it's about an internal shift. Neptune is in retrograde. There's this murkiness. There's this kind of lack of clarity around it. But I like the fact that in the opposing house, you have sun and moon and Mercury. So that says to me that you'll be able to see it. Even though Neptune's in retrograde, you might just feel a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit less sentimental, right? Neptune in direct is sentimental, sweet energy. Neptune in retrograde is like, really? Why am I being sentimental about this? It's causing me to have fuzzy decision making. It's causing me to not know who I am and not be able to mother myself in that 4th house. It's causing me to do a lot of things. And, Saturn says, okay, well, learn the lesson then. Learn the lesson. And just, learning the lesson is good. But then now this is asking you to take action. So focus on what matters. That's what's really being asked of you in the next couple of weeks. So let's continue on with this. I'll go deeper and I'll go through all of the stuff in your astrology chart for the general chart to let you know what's hitting what house. I've already talked about a bunch of it, but let's keep going, okay? Link is in the description box, Sag, if you want to continue on with your astrology. Let's go. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.